Hey, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are tuned in from. Welcome to another episode of What Now? And today my guest is the amazing British pop princess Starling. So, hold on, let me put this in here. Oh, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope everyone is still staying safe and being great at whatever it is that you do, even if you want to be lazy. Hi Kay, how are you? Thanks for joining again. What's up, Jay Chanel? Jay the Sarge is in here. Thanks, everyone. I'm waiting for Starling to get in here. She's amazing. She's such a lovely person. Her energy is just really contagious, so positive, and she's also mentoring artists, basically letting them know how the industry works to make sure that they have the tools to become great and to know what they have to pay attention to in this industry. So hopefully she'll be here soon. She is in the UK, so she's an hour behind me. So today is actually an hour earlier than my usual talks, but that's okay. I'm actually happy to have a somewhat early night. Let me know who you are, what you're doing. Indra, thank you for joining. We're waiting on Starling. I'm not sure how much introduction she needs, but if you don't know her, go to starlingsworld.com and you'll see all the amazing things that she does. And I'm just curious to know what she's doing while she is on lockdown. Yeah. I just don't have a monologue prepared. It is Monday. Let me know where you're from. How is the situation where you live? Indra, where are you from? Jay Chanel, where are you from? What are you doing? How are you staying inspired? Let me know what you guys are up to, and if it's loosening up over there. Here in Amsterdam, things are slowly opening up again. Hype, welcome. Oh, Amsterdam. No. All right, cool. Oh, you're from London. That's cool, because I know Starling is from the UK. I mean, she's at the moment she's at the sea somewhere, at the ocean. Noodles and our heads in Berlin. Yes, so I saw this article that a cafe in Germany opened up and made like straw hats with noodles, swimming pool noodles, to make sure everybody keeps their distance. Oh, cool. Your father's from Holland. Do you speak Dutch, Indra? Oh, she's in Mark. Ah, okay. So you must be a fan of Starling. I'm a huge fan of her as well. There she goes. Yay. Let's see if I can get her in here. Yes. I'm so happy she's here. For those that don't know her, hi!
Hi, gorgeous! Yes!
How are you?
Trying to get the camera. I'm good. I just did a ballet class and I was like, can I do a ballet class and also make it on time? So I was like...
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. I'm really excited. But yeah,
I'm excited.
I think I'm maybe sweaty, but anyway.
That's fine. We're on quarantine. I had my hair done. That's about it.
Oh my God, I love your hair like that. Oh,
thank you.
I love a wave.
Thank you. It's this curling iron that really saved my life during these live talks, because my regular hair is just like a bird's nest. And so
I feel like we can't get our like color done or cut. I mean, mine is so long, it's like beyond the screen.
I just cut it actually on Friday, because the salon opened up again.
Oh, nice.
With masks and all kinds of measures. But yeah, I had a big piece cut off because it was very long as well.
Gorgeous. So the salons are open in Holland?
Yeah, with with all these restrictions, obviously, they have to wear gloves and we all have to wear masks, and they have to have like 1.5 meters between people and all kinds of situations.
Wow.
But I was happy, so I had my hair cut.
It looks gorgeous. Yeah, I don't think we have salons open yet in the UK. Pretty
Not
sure.
yet?
I don't think so. Maybe someone can. Hi, Tiger Milk. Maybe Tiger Milk can tell me, or broken bones.
Whoever is in the UK, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in London anymore. I keep telling people I am, but I moved to the
Right.
coast. But I'm pretty sure the hair salons aren't open. If they are, I need to go. So
Find out.
yeah, I'll sort it. Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely.
So it's so wonderful to have you. I was just telling people that your energy is so contagious, your positivity, and I'm just, you know, from the moment that you and I met, and for the people that are watching, we have not met in person. This is like the first time we see each other live.
Yeah.
But
normally
she's
just like that, isn't it? Like
right, and she's just been so energetic towards me. Like, you just give me life, girl. You just give me life. Yes.
Hey, likewise. And I love your taste in music. I was like, I met a sister. So I can't wait to actually meet you or come over to the ocean. Yeah.
It'll happen soon enough once everything opens up again.
For sure.
So I was telling people, you know, you're an amazing, talented singer, and then you also give back by mentoring artists and teaching them about themselves, how they want to be portrayed, how they want to put themselves out there, but also teaching them about how the industry works to, you know, be able to navigate in that crazy world of entertainment.
Yeah, and emotional as well, Kate.
Yes.
I feel like, yeah, well, you know, because you're a manager. I feel like artists are, you know, if you're lucky, you can kind of find out like how to do PR or like how to whatever, get on a playlist, but all these things. But how to actually be resilient is like, it's not just like a thing you read in a book. So a long story short, about 4 years ago when I was starting, I felt kind of lonely and kind of like confused and unsure, and there were certain things that were going well and certain things that were struggle. But the one thing was this sense of I'm like alone, like this is such an unusual career path, like I'm alone. So I thought, well, about 2 years ago, I thought, well, if I felt that, surely there's other people that must feel that. So it was important to me that I became something I never had, is as a kind of giving back or you know, something like that.
You do that. Yeah,
and it's important, and it's funny, it started as you say, it started like emotional, or I say emotional health, and it was all about like, because I was a very nervous performer, so it was all about nerves and how do you get over stage fright or confidence in a meeting. And it very quickly, about 6 to 12 months later, became mentoring mainly for business, because people wanted the emotional stuff. They were like, okay, Starling, how do we get playlists?
Right.
Like how do we get noticed? You know, there's so many of us. And then I became kind of like an expert in independent artists. Like, how do you put your own label?
Yeah, and that's so kind of, that's how me and Starling met. So I'm managing an artist, an independent artist who's actually in the midst of moving to London, and has his whole band over there. So yeah, that's how we got connected, through the people.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's
so once we talked, it was just like, oh my gosh, we're so happy to meet. So for the people that are joining, they say women are always competitive, but I've noticed in this industry, especially the music industry, every woman I've ever met during my whole career in the industry has been so uplifting and supportive. Like, it's almost like you're happy to see another woman doing her thing.
Right. Doing well.
Yeah, there's no competition at all. And then, of course, we're not in the same, you know, profession. So I just want to support everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for you, tell me, because this talk is obviously born out of the Corona crisis and the pandemic putting us on lockdown. Everything is shut down. The music industry, shows are, you know, not happening. What has been the biggest impact for you, for your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think to talk about the challenges before I talk about the wins, there are actually, ironically, there are some wonderful things that have come out of this, which I'll go into. I guess for me, this was, so I got my visa to tour America and an agent and all this kind of just exciting stuff, because this is the year I released my debut album. I've been doing EPs after EPs. I've done three over 3 years or 4 years. And this was the kind of year of the culmination, if you like, of 300 songs I've written. Here my final 12, and this is like my sound. You know what it's like, you finally get that. And the idea was to tour America, or to tour a lot more than the UK. I have my American visa, and the idea of that not happening, at first I was like, it was kind of painful and shocking, and yeah, I would say no touring is looking likely this year. I mean, maybe for winter, but right now I've kind of surrendered.
Yeah, so exactly.
I would say that's a negative. And I would say, as an independent artist at the moment anyway, I enjoy being independent, but I do rely on like investors or like, what do you call that? Like various sources of business investment. And that's played on my mind about like, hang on, is the album going to go precisely to plan? Because if there's going to be a recession, are people going to blah, 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 and my connection is going to lead to the road that I'm hoping they'll lead. So I kind of went down that path in my mind, but that was like, I don't know, when did lockdown begin? Maybe like 8 weeks ago. But in that, or maybe more.
Yeah, it's been a while now. It's been about 10 weeks.
Honestly, I don't even know what day it is. Anyway, whenever it started. So at first pay, I was like, kind of like, yeah, I almost cried, I think, to my sister once, because I was like, you know, this was the year and America and the album and blah, blah, blah. And then since then, oh my God, I don't know where to start of the amazing things that have happened. Like a quarter of the investment has been raised that's needed for this launch, this record. I got verified blue tick randomly last week on Instagram, and I've managed to mix my record remotely with my producer. So we found this software that I don't need to worry about the fact that like, oh my God, I can't, I need to get to the studio and I can't. Instead it's like, what were we doing traveling? So we found this like software that I don't think we would have found if it hadn't have been Corona times.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, financially, of course, I think it's a worry for everybody about what does this pandemic really mean? Like not now, but later.
Later on,
Right, like if we open the entertainment shows, the shows industry up, are people even going to come if they're still worried, you know?
Exactly, the fear of
like, is October too soon, is January too soon, and so on. So yeah, that runs in my mind. But then I got asked by DC Shoes, you know DC Shoes, the skater brand, to sing for them next week. And I've never done a digital concert ever, I don't know why.
But that's great.
And they have millions of followers, and I'm just excited because they're a brand I like. I think they're they have a really great team. They've been lovely. So I'm just excited for that. And like, you know, okay, maybe I won't be able to tour, but I can still release music. People need to hear music in this time. So I actually feel weirdly hopeful, but yeah, I hope
you should be hopeful. That shouldn't be weird. The thing is that a lot of major artists are not releasing right now. So this is the time for independents or even smaller artists that are signed to release music. Well, first of all, we all need music, especially in this time. We have the time to check out new artists and new music. We are at home. We need music for our background and for our cleaning and whatever. So I think it's a great time to release music because we all need art. It's not just music. Like I've been talking to filmmakers, I've been talking to actors, I've been talking to visual artists. We all need the arts to survive this.
I really feel that the arts are so healing, and I don't know, even Netflix, I never have time to watch Netflix, but I've been watching a few more documentaries or series, and like you could say, obviously the ambulance crew, the police, the doctors are like more important, like they're crucial people, but when people like ever argue that like actors or I don't know singers aren't as valuable, I would always disagree, because although these people are saving lives, we also need entertainment to help save our emotional lives. So
and it's also literal lives. I mean, I speak from experience. I've suffered depression, and if I didn't have music or the arts, I may not have been here now. I can safely say that.
I feel entirely the same. It's that important.
And then also we're dealing with, well, one of the things that you touched on with your mentoring, you know, how to deal with this industry emotionally and this career and this just the entertainment business. There's a lot of talk now surrounding mental health, period. The taboo is a little bit gone. So being in this industry, you have to have sanity or some type of, you know, solid ground to hold on to, not to go insane, because the rejection is terrible. The comparison is terrible. It's so many things that can affect you mentally. And then on top of the corona, you know, you already may not feel your art is good enough. And then now you're shut down. So who's going to really want to sign you or listen to you? And that's something that we all have to overcome, not just artists, but just everyone.
Yeah.
And even with a regular job as well.
Yeah, I think it affects everybody. And I really believe we're being tested on many levels, but between faith and fear. And when there's like fear literally in the air because of this sort of this virus and the unknown nature of what it is, we've never been here before, and so on and so forth on so many levels. But it's almost like we have a choice, if we can kind of get there, between faith and fear. And I'm constantly every day like, what can I do to strengthen my faith? And I'm not talking specific like God or religion or anything like that, really. If I'm anything, I'm Buddhist, but I'm really not sort of you know, set on a kind of external God. But when I say faith, I mean the idea that there is a trust that there is going to be a kind of an okay outcome if we can you know, so much visualize it. Yeah.
Well, also I believe in the strength of positivity. Again, I think I'm a walking testimony that if you stay positive, things will work out. And of course, it's not that black and white, but it's definitely not going to help you if you think negative. So
you do attract what you believe, I think.
Right. And exactly. So I always use this phrase, speak it into existence. If you want something to happen, talk about it. Because if you keep talking about what you can't do, then you're definitely not going to do it.
Totally.
I see questions coming in, which is great. So for those who are just joining us, if you have questions, because I don't want to keep interrupting the conversation. Sorry. Oh, yeah. So, well, hi,
I never do
we are noticing you, but for the sake of the flow of the conversation, please put your questions in the question box below, and we'll find a time to answer all the questions. So I've seen you working out, and so one of the questions is, how do you stay physically healthy during this time? Because, you know, the gyms are closed and whatever. Well, I've seen a little bit of your routine, but
well, you know what, I hope this isn't an overshare, but I have weekly therapy because I just love therapy. And on the first week of this lockdown, or whatever we call it, the therapist was like, we weren't even talking about corona, and at the end of the session he went, hey, just so you know, Starling, you need to have a ritual. And I was like, what? And because I actually never do, not that he didn't even know that, but he just was saying it as a general advice. He was like, you need to have a ritual. I was like, sorry, what? And he was like, do you have a set thing each, like, and I was like, no. And I took that so seriously, Pay, and I can't believe I'm saying this because it's not like me. I get up at the same time, I'm such a geek, same time every day at 7 a.m. I go to this bed at the same time, 11 p.m. I've never been like this, ever.
But that's good.
I work out pretty much every single day. The only day I have off is like a Sunday because I just try to repair the muscles. And I would say have a trainer or have some class that you have to be live at. Like, you know, those apps. I never use those apps because I always think, oh, I can do it later.
Right.
If I
accountability.
Thank you so much. So if you paid a $5 or you have a trainer or you've got something where like you have to show up for pay or for stuff, whoever the person teacher is, I do that like every single day, either at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And then by about 10 or 11, I then go into my dance, which is more of an expressive, I'm just exploring a movement.
Oh, Ilya told me about that. Didn't you bring Ilya to the dance studio? Yeah.
To Pineapple Dance Studios, yeah. I don't always use that space because I actually left London to the coast. I don't know if I told you, to get a big it's cheaper than London, so to get like a dance studio here. So I just go to my basement. I'm very lucky at the moment, and I can just really explore like how do I physically express myself through my body. But yeah, previous to that, it's a lot of like weight training, because I've recently been, I hope this isn't a tangent, but I've been reading a lot about how like Pilates and yoga is great, but as a woman you need to do resistance training to really like I've seen you working out by this, so I know you know that. But to really shape, like craft your body, not that I'm necessarily looking for physical changes, but I'm looking for strength for when I go on tour. And my trainer's just is like, you just have to lift. So we do that, and then I do dance, and then I would say that there's something about that ritual comment of the therapist that I don't know, it's so weird, Pay, but in a way I've never been happier, and I feel guilty saying that because, you know, I've lost loads of work, there's no tours, the world
no, you're taking care of yourself now.
I am, and I'm trying to keep that vibration up so that I can really help, you know, my artists or my team or everybody around me. But yeah, there's something that before I was a singer, I was a bar girl. Before that, I was at drama school. Before that, I was, I don't know, a teenager. So I just never went to bed on time. I never had structured rhythm.
Yeah, you had a weird schedule.
Yeah, and you go to bed when, we're in the entertainment industry, go to bed whenever the fuck you can, But
that's me right now.
Yeah, and you watch and you do things too late, it's all a whole thing. But this whole like rhythm has kind of given me this incredible discipline. I'll be honest, I never really knew I had. That I've never worked out really until I don't know when lockdown began.
Oh, really? Okay, so yeah, so I'm like, I have so much respect for you for doing this set routine and this schedule, because I was on a very good schedule before all of this, and now it's like I'm not even going to the gym. I'm not doing anything at home. I'm just like, man, I just need this gym to open up, because I don't do the workouts at home. I'm just not disciplined. I have stuff to do in my house. I have the dishes. I have laundry and anything but working out in the house.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I must say, by me moving to this kind of cheaper area, I would have been the same. But because I purposely got the house for the basement so that I could literally just dance my tits off.
Well, see, yeah, if I had the space,
I wouldn't want to do it in my sitting room, like in my flat, my old flat in Shoreditch. Like, I get that.
Yeah, so for me, I actually just got an email that my gym is possibly opening up June 1st. I'll be so happy, of course, with all the measures in place. But I'm just like, oh, I can't wait till this gym starts again, because I'm actually doing good health wise, because I'm still in the same weight. I had lost 8 kilos since between December and March. And so I'm still good because I'm cooking every day. I'm not eating out as much, we don't have lunch meetings and dinner meetings. But so I'm actually pretty good, but I think I lost a lot of muscle and just my endurance. And I know for you as an artist, a performing artist, that is something that people underestimate. When you're on stage and you have to do a 30-minute show or 45-minute show or an hour show, you have to have endurance.
Yeah, and you know what, Pay? It's funny you say that, because it's a stupid worry of mine, but I've been worrying about like athletes and ballerinas recently, because they can't, unless you do it, you can't physically, if you're not doing it, you can't physically keep in shape, So yeah, they can do stuff at home, but is that really the same?
Right.
Yeah, anyway, it's a weird time for people that, physically have to perform to stay at the top of their game, Or tennis, all of them. Yeah.
I see my friends say you can run, Pay. No, that's something I just don't like. I don't like running. I tried it a couple years ago. It's not me. I'm not going to do something I don't like. In the gym, I have 2 different schedules for my trainer based on the things that I like. He put me on some stuff that I didn't like to do. I'm not doing it. And there's enough stuff that I like to do. I mean, I ride my bike, obviously, in Amsterdam, and I walk a lot. So, I do have my physical
I get
workouts.
I just get that you wouldn't want to do it. Like, I just completely get that. You could.
Well, I'm so proud of you for maintaining this schedule. Do you think you can maintain that once we're outside again and once you're working, doing shows and touring?
I honestly, Pay, that's been on my mind. Like, I've journaled how worried I am, but I'll just go back to, I mean, it wasn't like I was unhealthy. I quit like drinking drugs a few years ago anyway. So I was on that kind of spiritual and quite sober and clean path anyways. But in terms of going to bed and actually having enough sleep and working out, I want to say yes. I hope I can, but I know how brutal traveling is, and I know what that does to us as artists in terms of like grabbing McDonald's or trying to sleep wherever you can. So there isn't, you're not in charge of your schedule as much. So, particularly when you're a new artist, you kind of just, slog and
you're
just
winging it. Yeah.
Take what you can get. But yeah, I really want to say yes. I hope so, because there's something very powerful physically, and it's given me ideas about how I want to do a show when it comes to my tour. There's something very powerful if you commit to your physical health, how that gives you a sense of honestly deep connection to like who you are, where you're going, and actually for me at the moment it's more powerful than meditating.
Right. I can believe that, because I have the same thing.
You do.
Yeah.
Meditation's cool. I mean, I have lots to say on all sorts of practices, but at the moment journaling's like my bag, or working out, because for me meditation is as fantastic as it's been for me in the past. It's meant to like clear everything out, and a lot of the time actually I need to like fucking get the emotion out, you know, whether that's like boxing in the gym or whatever.
You have to express yourself and get the energy out instead of just getting peaceful. Because meditation is about getting peaceful.
Right, and I'm up to the piece, but as an artist, it's not always that relevant or necessary for me to kind of like zen out. Like, I want to if I need to, but I don't ever. Actually, that's lies. I don't want to ever disregard a feeling. I like, for me, I'm like, right, fucking, let's write it down, you know, or let's sing it, or dance it. So I'm not vibing right now with meditation, but maybe I will again.
I mean, whenever you know best what you need at what time, and you can go to whatever means you have at that moment that you know works for you. One of the things that I've been talking to with touring artists is exactly this. They're now taking the time out to realize how crazy their schedule used to be, and they're like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing 6 shows in a row touring through a country. But one of the things that I've also noticed is, when you now have the time to nurture your body and your health, that will prepare you for the times that you will have an irregular schedule, irregular sleep, and irregular food intake. So you are actually building up an immune system that is far more, how do you say that, is stronger for you to survive the touring. And when you do that, and you don't have your schedule while you're touring, that's okay, because as soon as you get off touring, you can get back to basically refilling that immune system again, refueling that immune system again.
You got it. Yeah. And I just hope that artists are realizing that really deeply, that we are able to, when we can, we are able to be our own best friend. And then you say, bring it to the crazy schedule. And then if we fall off balance, that's okay, because we're not on tour every day of the year. And then you come back and you kind of yo-yo in terms of how much you can give to yourself, and then you know, put the petrol in and revamp, and then out you go again.
Recharge your battery. I've talked to mostly some older artists that are, you know, aware of, you know, the toll it takes on you when you're older and touring. But also I've spoken to artists that actually have their own chef touring with them, or their own food. Like, they bring their own foods and they cook themselves instead of going out to eat with the promoters or with the venue, and that definitely makes a difference as well, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan.
Yes. Oh my God, so difficult.
Yeah. Okay, so having talked about the physical aspect, what is it that you now have for your routine to stay mentally, well, I don't want to say active, but okay, you know, in this situation?
Yeah, it's a great question. So at the beginning of lockdown, I was kind of scared, kind of a bit shocked, and also feeling this negativity about the projected future for us performers. But additional to that, and I won't go into the details, but people end up in hospital with corona in my family or who I live with. And it was so heavy for me, Pay. And it was also the same day as my birthday. And I found myself, and it's okay, I don't need to be like positive all the time, but I found myself like suddenly dangerously low just for like a day or two. And I was like, shit, what's going on? And although I said I moved to the ocean, to the coastline in eastern England near Margate, there's like a forest about 15 minutes away, and sometimes
wonderful.
You know, the beach is good, but sometimes even cut it, you know, you need the trees and all this kind of like enchanted forest feeling. And I kind of went there and hugged a tree or did some hippie stuff, and it's so important. And there was something about that. So I guess I want to say nature. And then since then I've been doing really great. I don't know why, but like that was just a really hard week, and then everyone got better and it was okay. And then I just started to go to the beach. So I guess like, apart from movement and dance and even singing, I've been doing some singing rituals as well in the day, ready for DC Shoe's show. It would be nature. If I go to the beach, you know, once every 2 days or every day, I didn't go today, but whenever I can, there's something about the waves or the forest that definitely,
calms you.
And it also just gives me like a better perspective. Rather than just, you know, we love our work, and I'm very workified.
Workaholics.
Yeah, I pretty much am, and it's okay. But sometimes there's more to me than just, and you know, I'm always trying to connect to a bit more. And when you go to nature, as you know, I feel like we're the same. You have perspective. You have this bigger source, and that not only creatively like fills me up with ideas, but it also just kind of gets me back to kind of the baseline in some ways.
Yeah, gets you grounded, gets you back to yourself. Take a step back from the situation that you're completely in. Right. And that's what nature does for me, especially the beach. I have a special relationship with any beach or ocean because the sound of the waves obviously is known to be calming, but also if you sniff in salty air, it actually cleanses your sinuses. And so I love sniffing. Like you listen to me sniff when I'm at the beach. I'm not laying out, I'm like inhaling, and you know, it just helps me. And people are always like, you're such a beach addict. I'm like, yeah, well, apparently it's good. So
it's so good for you. Yeah.
Let's see if I have a question. Okay. This is from my friend Hope. He says, what made you decide to take the leap and go for it? Was it a small or a big topic?
Wow, to become a singer?
I think so. I think that's what he means.
Wow, it's a great question. I wonder if he knows anything about my story. So how do I make this short?
Well, tell us a little bit. Yeah,
I since the age of 7 wanted to be an actress. My parents got divorced around that time, and I found these little drama classes that really helped me in being somebody else or putting emotion into little poems or whatever. And then from there I did school and lots of ballet actually, and got into a drama school, so that was like on track. And then it was a really good drama school, and then I graduated from that, and I was working in this bar in Soho. It's kind of like a members club, so it was more than just a like not that it matters, but then like a pub or a restaurant, because you have the same people coming in, and these same people were either like celebrities or members that were artists or and I just noticed I wasn't getting any acting work, and I just decided to like write a song. I tried a song. I tried a song. I just tried a song, and I just told people that that I just written my first song as I was serving them pints and stuff, and they're like, oh, that's cool. And I started to get some contacts, you know. And then I sung in this bar. God, it must have been about 6 or 7 years ago, and I got discovered in this bar by a famous band that Sia started with, called 07. And then I worked with Massive Attack all in the same time. And they were just like, well, you've got a really great voice. And I was just singing covers. I didn't even, my friend played ukulele. It was all, I just sang Bill Withers and Joni Mitchell and was very nervous. And I thought that my voice would shake because I was a very nervous actress, but then I was also nervous because I'd never really done the singing thing. So anyway, in this special bar that was called Black's in Soho, it's still there, but not the same owners. I met all these people, and I was like, can you actually like quit acting even though I'd spent all this money training? Like, can you really like just switch career? It's not like singing's anymore like secure or anything.
No, like but you can switch when you want to. It's your life.
You can, but I felt like, well, I've probably spent, I don't know, 40K in training at the best drama school, and you know, and I had no confidence in the singing. But you know, this guy from 07, they're not famous anymore, but they were like famous at the beginning of Sia's the noughties, and they were part of that Massive Attack world, that Bristol music sort of sound. And when I had them sort of saying, you know, you've really got a voice, and kind of believing in me before I believed in myself, I thought, well, this could be something. And I started to get busy with sessions, you know. Well, for people that don't know what sessions are, just songwriting and
singing
you know
sessions.
You know, but it just means you go into random studios. And so I was going into these sessions, and I couldn't do that and keep the bar job without being just fucking tired, like 2 a.m. You've got to be in the studio, you know.
You got to invest all your time, and
and I was like, well, what about money, and how am I gonna live, pay my, you know, what's gonna go on? How am I gonna pay my bills? And I decided to move into a squat, which had no hot water, no heating, nothing. I had to lay carpet down and, you know,
that's crazy.
Say protect it and have a boiling kettle to, you know, have warm water and stuff.
Right.
So I decided to go there for 6 months, leave the bar. And I said to myself, if I can get a record deal in 6 months, I will leave. You know, obviously I had left the bar, but I will forget the acting and I will do the singing because it feels so good to me, but I didn't have any training, you know, so I was like, fuck. And I got a record deal on the 6th month.
That's amazing.
So it happened. Yeah.
So that's also a testimony to, if you set a goal for yourself, because you weren't planning on living in the squatter's house for like more than 6 months.
It wasn't the best, no.
Yeah, so that's also a goal. Like, I have to be able to pay for an apartment or at least normal housing within 6 months, and I want to do that through a record deal and not through a regular job. So yeah, of course you have to be talented. I mean, if I say that and I want to start a singing career, I'll probably be living on the streets still. But people believe
sure
in
that's
you.
Not true.
Oh, trust me, I'm good enough as a background singer. That's about it. But yeah, so you already had that boost from the people that discovered you, and so you knew that you had something, and you just set your mind to it. And then also, you know, singing and acting, everybody is now doing everything. The crossover is amazing. All the rappers are acting, all the actors are singing, all the singers are hosting, it's just, so you definitely can still apply all the stuff that you've learned for acting into your shows that you do. The expressions you have to do in your videos are acting. So
yeah,
it's all, and you can still act.
Yeah, and actually it's weird because I had this audition for Downton Abbey like years ago. Oh,
really?
Yeah, so I was doing the crossover, and I just remember like not even preparing for it because I didn't really care, and it was like, what is this feeling? And then I realized, yeah, you are definitely a singer and you're over your acting. I guess for me, Pay, like without sounding too dramatic, I just didn't want to be anybody else anymore. Yeah. So for me, it was like, actually, if I can make a living or get by, you know, writing songs that are my story or my truth, then maybe I don't need to have someone else's script. And for me, that as I said, it really played a part for me acting. I'm not saying this about any other actors, but for me, it was very therapeutic with everything that had happened in the childhood. But for me, it was also like that it was done.
Yeah, but also that also shows that you choosing to tell your own story through music was something that you needed to do, probably therapeutic, or, you know, to heal yourself and to become the person that you are today.
I think so. And I think that I had never been interested in myself. It sounds really sad, but I'd never been interested in myself.
We're interested.
Yeah, but thank you. But when I was acting, it was always about if I could be somebody else. And I could see that through the work. And then when this guy believed in me, and he was, he still is so talented, and got me through the door. And as I said, you know, this wasn't just a bar, it was a members club. So I met like this big manager, I think he looked after like Jessie J, and then he signed me, and that's how I then got like, and I literally just served him a pint, like that was it, you know. And then I got this manager. So it was very serendipitous, but it was also this thing of like, yeah, you can do this, you know. And really it was me that was in the way of it all. Actually everybody else was right there with me, but it was me that had to get my head around that I could possibly do this.
You had to believe in yourself in order to do what you do now. And also people, sure, this is also a combination of talent and luck, but even if somebody picks you up and wants to sign you, you still have to put in the work. It's not going to be done for you. I speak as a manager as well. Like, I can't open doors for people. That's the probably the biggest misconception of a manager, that once you have a manager, they can open all the doors and the magic wands. No, that's not how it works. It helps to have a network, but yeah. So okay,
you have to hustle as an artist. If you think that your manager is going to save the day or your label, you'll have a massive shot. And by the way, I'm really pleased you said that, because when I mentor, without getting like too harsh on them, I always say like, please, I know it's a sense of graduation when you get like a manager, it's like, yay, or I get a label, like it's like, oh my God, you know, somebody believes in me. But equally, you need to believe in yourself, and that they're not the key to the castle, you are. Right. And when you realize that you're the key to the castle, like the manager or the label, as lovely as they are, they're playing a part. Right. They're not the answer. They're just playing a part in the journey. Right. That feels important to to say, because so often, and I fell in the trap just temporarily, you sort of think, oh, my job's done. They're dealing with it. And really it's a collective. Yeah. Me and my current manager, she's a woman, that's so rare. And we always divide and conquer, you know, whether it's a spreadsheet or whether it's reaching out to people or whether it's meetings. It's not just her, it's me and her. And that's
it's not an assistant job. Like, so many times people kind of demote me to some type of secretary with a title. I'm not that. I'm not here to pick up the stuff that you don't want to do. That's not how it works. It's teamwork.
Yeah.
And indeed, you have to believe in yourself. Why would I run for you if you're not running for yourself? That's basically what I always say.
Totally.
Yeah, going back to you. So you're signed with, am I correct? Are you signed in the States?
Oh, I've got management in the States, but I'm currently independent.
No, I mean the label.
Oh no, I don't have a label.
Oh, you don't have the label.
So when you're, I've done 2 records with a label, and then another label, and then my last record did totally independently, and it did the best I've ever done, like millions of streams, playlisted across the world, and I didn't actually get that with labels. So it's interesting, not that I'm anti-labels, it's interesting how whether you're independent or whether you're with a record label, to me, I'm very neutral, because when you've got the right team, you don't need a label.
Thank you. Because I have so many artists that always talk about, I want to be signed with a label. I want to be, and I always ask them, why do you want to be signed with a label? And 9 out of 10 times it's because they want the marketing, the promotion. I'm like, well, you can do independent and then just hire a marketing or promo team for a flat fee. You don't have to sign away your rights. You don't have to sign away your royalties. You can keep 100%, and you know exactly what you're putting into the marketing without a label spending that money for you.
Thank you. And you never really know, like, this again isn't to diss labels, because they can do such amazing powerful things, but unless you're really like priority A, you know, you're top of the list, or whatever it's called, like global priority. If you're not global priority, actually you can be signed and put on the shelf. And people that are listening that aren't, who have we got listening that aren't musicians, to be put on the shelf means that you've got your music made, but they're deciding
but you can't put it out.
Not to anything, and you're like, what the fuck? So luckily I haven't been in that position, but I've mentored a few people coming out of that, and it's quite traumatizing, because you put your heart and soul into something, and then you've got this legislation that says, hey, you know what, they're in control of when the campaign starts, if ever. And for me, I love the control I have as an independent artist. As I said, from investment perspective, that can be up and down depending on the current climate. But in terms of the control, the power, and creating my own team,
and what you want to do when you want to do it. And that's what I always tell in my master classes as well. When I consult independent artists that are coming out with stuff, like, you don't want to be put on hold, because you can be the #1 artist that they sign at the moment, but maybe a month later they sign somebody else. And I also tell them, if you sign with a label, make sure there's a timeline in there that you put in the contract, in the agreement, that you want to put out 2 albums in a year or 1 in a year, and they have to stick to that. So at least you're able to put something out.
That's a brilliant idea. That could be imperative. That's genius.
Oh yeah, I tell all the artists that.
But I'm also like, just to give another side of, sorry to cut you, but another side of the spectrum, I've also been with a label like Communion, which are owned by Island. And, you know, it was really early days for me. It was like 4 years ago when I just started, like, in this professional capacity. When I'd just been discovered, it was that was the record deal I got on the 6th month with the Squat. And they were brilliant. You know, I thought I knew what I wanted, and as you get older, you're like, but they were brilliant. So there's a lot to be said about a label that, like, truly is supporting you, no matter how early on it is. And, like, the money and the confidence and the kind of what's the word? The, like, cheerleading that they give you. It can be really amazing.
They're fans.
And it can be so amazing to, like, I don't know. I think I was the first person Communion ever signed to get my debut single on Annie Mac. They had never had any, like, Radio 1, basically, for anyone.
That's great.
That's not UK based. And, like, it was on Radio 1 within, I don't know, a few days of it being released. And there was some lovely, like, things, and I wouldn't have necessarily got that if I had started independent. But now I'm independent, it's cool because I know what labels do. So to anybody listening who is a musician or wants to be, it's wonderful to set up your own label, but only if you've got, like, if you're working with UPay or me or somebody that knows how things
Right.
work.
You have to have your network.
Yeah.
Also, if the label is able to do that for you when you're first coming out, then people already know your name and your music when you come out independently. So you can push that yourself or plug that yourself.
Right.
You know, so that's how you have to invest first.
Yeah.
Before you can really run yourself or with your own team.
Yes.
So you were talking about your debut album. Are you going to put that out independently?
Yes.
Do you have a time frame? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we're hoping August will be the beginning of the singles waterfalling,
Okay.
if you like. You know what waterfalling means.
Right.
To anybody else, it means there will be lots of songs before we drop the whole shebang.
Right.
And I'm hoping it will be August, September. I do feel nervous to say that because of current climate.
No, we understand.
We're like,
can't really plan.
Yeah, but we're pretty certain. And okay, if I told you the journey with what happened with producers and people dying and people getting sick, but this is way pre-corona, this is last year, you would just be like, you wouldn't even be surprised because you know the music industry. But it's just been like, almost I could cry. Like yesterday I just kind of cried when I heard the final mix back of a few songs, because I was like, oh, this is really becoming something. So to anybody listening that sometimes just feels like, you know, do hang on in there, because we don't have a feedback loop as performers. Yeah. But when it all comes together, you know, the work's really paid off, you can suddenly see the bigger picture, and you have this sense.
Have patience.
Really, up to that point, it feels shit. So.
Yeah, but that's every artist. I have one of my artists now. He's so impatient, but in a good way, because he just wants to put his music out. Yeah. But he sees that if we do it efficiently and strategically, then you maximize your work, because you don't want to just throw it out there and then it just doesn't do anything. You want to make sure that you get everything out of it that you possibly can, before you put your hard work and your sweat and your blood and your tears out into the world, just because you want people to hear it.
Yeah. But that's very like manager speak, and it's so important artists hear this, because artists are like, I just want to put it out, and managers are like, hang on, if you don't have the right team, no one's going to hear it. So your hard work's then going to be like on deaf ears. So I really, my manager also says that, and I've really learned the hard way that not to rush campaigns. Right. Not to do that. It's really a waste of everybody's time, energy, and money.
It is. And that, you know what? That's even better said. It's a waste. And when you say it like that, then it really, you know, it hits people like, okay, you're right. But I always try to speak from the artist's perspective. Like, you don't want that, because obviously I don't want it to happen, but you don't want your hard work to just be thrown out there, and there's no strategy, there's no thought behind it, because then people are moving on to the next thing and it's not doing anything.
Totally. And you want those numbers to gradually go up and have a real gradual kind of momentum. Right. And that's important, and that only comes with the right kind of team members, and a lot of focus being on Spotify and streaming services more so than radio nowadays. I feel like
that's true.
An important focus, rather than like, you know, spending your minimal cash on radio, which is a lot to plug. Like focusing on the streaming platforms at the beginning Lauv is a friend of mine, and Lauv has done it in a really great way, because he was just like Spotify and really focused on just songs on the platforms, and then obviously the radio picked it up, and he's now Lauv.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
but sometimes it takes longer. It is a little bit of, what is the market ready for? Where do they have room for the Spotify playlisters? Yeah. What do they want to do at the time? Who do they want to listen to? So it has to do a little with, you know, network and you know, demand, you know, question, demand, whatever.
Totally. Yeah.
So you were planning on touring in the States. So if all goes planned and all goes by plan, and you drop your album this year in the summertime, fall, are you pushing back your tour?
Yeah, it's hard to really say, because there's so many conversations going on. Let's just say, if it's not going to be this winter, it will be early next year.
but you're definitely going to tour for your album, obviously.
100%.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in talks because I just switched British agent. If it means like not touring till spring next year, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just like, if I get to tour it, then that's great, because
I agree.
Yeah, it matters to me, just the type of person I am, that I'm not just making tracks. It matters to me that I have the visceral experience of people, connecting with people, over the merch desk, or just singing along with them, or whatever it is. So
and seeing the response to your work also. That's something that I've heard from a lot of artists, that they want to get that energy back from the audience, and you can't do that through live stream or digital concerts.
Physical. And I've only toured the UK once in my career, so when I did that, I was kind of blown away on so many levels, but with that like visceral experience, and I was like, I want more like practice, but I also want more of that.
It's a drug for artists.
For sure.
So okay, pretty standard question, but let's say we're still on lockdown for the rest of this year. Who would you want to receive a call from working with on tracks, or whether it's for you or for somebody else? Who would definitely be one of the top bucket list people that you would want to work with right now?
Well, like a really like tacky response, because everybody wants to work with him, is that I've had Max Martin on my mind for like a while.
Oh wow.
Because I've worked with really like A-list producers, but never Max Martin. And I've wondered if I'm like pop enough, and I've wondered if I'm going to be big enough to be able to be, you know, seen and worked by, you know, with him, and see if he likes this kind of, if there's a collaboration.
Oh, let me stop you right there. I don't think you have to be good enough or big enough. I think he has to like you. It's also a lot of, you know, it's not always about the actual particular music that you make. What people fail to understand as well is like, you know, people have to want to, we have a word for it in Dutch, but I don't know the word. If anybody knows the word in English, it's basically people wanting to see you win, wanting to see you succeed, because you're a likable person, because they want to see you successful, because they just love you. If you have a great personality, if you're loving, if you're caring, if you're humble, then more people are most likely to want to work with you, whether you are their taste in music, whether you are the biggest name. No, if they love you and they see how passionate you are about your talent, they want to work with you. And that is something that a lot of artists don't understand. They just want to go for the fame or the money, and then they, you know, whatever goes to their head. And it's not people I want to work with. I don't care how many millions you make. If you're an asshole, I'm not working with you.
So I totally agree. And thank you for reminding me that it is about that. Because whenever I had this podcast last year that did quite well. It got picked up by Soho House, and it had Fleabag, and it went live and stuff. And a lot of the guests, I was like, how did I get that guest? And it was because we had the same values, the same, like you and me, like the same philosophies. But I think Sia is the one woman in the world I'd love to write with, because I think her ability with language and melody is I think she's one of the best songwriters on the planet. Max Martin at the moment for production, because I'm curious about like what that would kind of lead to. And I had somebody else, which was to perform with, because I think it would be fucking funny and brilliant and like very womany, is Christina McQueen's.
Oh, cool.
Because she's so like French, and I'm so British, and I just feel like with our like movements, it could just be.
I'm so British. What does that mean?
I know, and I'm actually half Swiss, so it's bullshit.
And I honestly don't think you're that British, because British people are usually more poised and like.
Like a cup of tea.
Yeah, I know, and you're completely not that.
No, actually, I think you're right. So her, and then there's other people. I don't know, Kate. I have a big amount of creative hunger. I mean, all the time. If I showed you,
I know you.
You know, I don't even know how I can show you around this room, but I made this office a creative office, and I'm starting to wallpaper the walls with Vogues, and down there I have some art collections.
It's inspiration. My whole house is full of art as well.
And there are things that will be coming to the fans and stuff, but within that, and I was saying this to my sister just the other day, there is somebody I'm looking for, and I don't know who that is, but that would manifest for me in a sense of a partnership around creating a theatre show. And the theatre show isn't musical theatre, it isn't play, it isn't anything conventional, but it is my Starling's World show, but that can direct me in a traditional sense, but also not restrain me and try to change me. So I'm
that's tough.
Yeah,
but what I love about that is that you know exactly how you want it, and that is very important for your team as an artist, because the team can't really put out your vision the way you want to if you can't tell how you want it.
Right. And although, as I say, I don't know, would this guy or girl be a traditional theatre director, or I have ideas in my head, but I just know that, like, for me to like tour and to create it more than just like a girl with a guitar or with my band, there is something around like using the physical body to express the word.
Express, exactly. Yeah.
Doubly, like to emphasize. Yeah. And then there's something else about storytelling through projection, visuals, and also through shape. So there's something there, but yeah, that's what I would love to like collaborate with is to create a show that's unforgettable, and it's a big
I would love to see that. Well, I would love to see you perform, period, whether you have that amazing show or not. The reason why I ask these questions about who people want to work with is not necessarily because it's another one of those questions, but again, going back to speaking it into existence. When you speak about it, you manifest it. So I want people to speak out what they want, what their goals are, who they want to work with. So it's out there. You can't take it back now. So if Max Martin's going to call you, you know, you're welcome.
By September, I can't wait.
You have to let me know immediately if he does.
I really have to. How cool would that be? It's possible. So yeah, I love your question, and your energy is so right. Like if ever there's sort of proof, like the squat story about leaving the squat, for anyone who's been on this video call long enough, I was living in a squat for 6 months, is like by the end of that I was like, I'm gonna get a record deal, and if not, then I'm quitting. No, I knew I wouldn't quit, but
you know, this is the thing. I always said, if I at this point I'm turning 42 next month, if I wanted to be a rocket scientist, I can do it.
Yes, you can.
Because if I really, really wanted to do it, I would go to that school, sign up, and pay my tuition or whatever,
100%.
and study. Now, but the fact is, I don't want to do it, so that's why I can't. Yeah. So that is the thing. If you really want to do something, you will find a way to make it happen.
Yes, you will. Yeah. And I'm always hoping that people are finding a way for what they want to be a truest expression, whether it's a rocket scientist, whether it's a dancer, whether it's a mathematician. Is it the truest like essence of them? Because if it is, they're living out their kind of dharma, if you like, they're living out their thing. And if there's anything that I've learned over the last whatever it is years, it's how can I be more me? And actually, when I'm more me, I'm more magnetic. I get the things.
And also, how can you be more of service? Because, you know, I do say, if you really want to do something, you can do it. But also, if you feel like you have to force it, let it go. Because I truly believe then it's not your path, it's not your purpose. You have to live in your purpose, and you have to live in service. Not just me, but how can you enrich other people's lives with your own purpose? That's something that I truly believe in. You are already doing it with your mentoring and giving back and teaching people.
Thank you.
I do have to. We've been talking for an hour, and I know Instagram's going to count me down in a couple seconds. Shit. Yeah, I know. I do want to thank you for this amazing conversation. Yeah, it's counting me down. Is there something you want to give out to people that have been tuned in and will be viewing back later?
Yes. Oh, maybe I could tell them I'm doing a show for DC Shoes on the DC Women's account next Friday, 29th at 8 o'clock UK time. And also, if they want the mentoring information, it's starlingtheplatform.com.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much.
Zoom calls for everybody on that. Yeah.
Right. Starling's World. Follow her. Be on the lookout for her music. If you need help, hit her up. And thank you so much. And we'll definitely, I'll just hit you up after this live to thank you.
Please do. We always need to speak because it's.
I know. But again, thank you for your inspiration, and thank everyone for tuning in. if you have questions, make sure to ask them to her, ask them to me, send us messages, and stay safe and stay healthy. And it was a pleasure having everyone.
Thank you for having, thank you, Pei. It was.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.